Question 1. Where are you from?
I'm from Lakshmipur, a small but lively town in Bangladesh. It's not as modern as Dhaka, but it has a peaceful vibe that I really enjoy. I like the fact that everyone knows each other and life feels less rushed. Sometimes I do miss the opportunities a bigger city offers, but overall, I feel proud of where I come from because it shaped who I am today.
Question 2. Do you work or study?
Currently, I work as a police officer, which is both challenging and rewarding. I chose this career because I wanted to serve my community and maintain peace. It's not always easy since the hours can be long, but the satisfaction I get when I solve problems or help people in need makes it worthwhile. Besides, the job constantly teaches me discipline and patience, which I value a lot.
Question 3. Do you enjoy your work or studies? Why?
Yes, I genuinely enjoy my work. The main reason is that it gives me a sense of purpose. I feel like I'm making a real difference in people's lives. Of course, there are stressful days, but I believe every profession has its ups and downs. What keeps me motivated is the respect I receive from the community and the chance to improve myself through different experiences.
Question 4. How do you usually spend your weekends?
On weekends, I usually try to relax and spend time with my family because my weekdays are often quite busy. I like playing with my little kids, watching a TV show with my wife, or sometimes going out for a short trip nearby. I believe weekends should be a balance of rest and fun, so I avoid overworking and try to recharge for the upcoming week.
Question 5. Do you have any hobbies? Tell me about them.
Yes, I do. My main hobby is watching anime, especially action and fantasy series. I enjoy it because it helps me escape from daily stress and also sparks my imagination. For example, when I watch a series like One Punch Man or Battle Through the Heavens, I get inspired by the characters' struggles and determination. I think hobbies are important because they add joy and creativity to our lives.
Question 6. Why did you choose that job?
I chose to become a police officer because I always wanted a career that gave me both discipline and the chance to serve people. From a young age, I admired how police officers maintain peace and protect society, and I wanted to be part of that. Although the training was tough and the responsibilities are heavy, I believe this job allows me to make a meaningful contribution to my country.
Question 7. Do you enjoy your work?
Yes, I genuinely enjoy my work. The main reason is that it gives me a sense of purpose. I feel like I'm making a real difference in people's lives. Of course, there are stressful days, but I believe every profession has its ups and downs. What keeps me motivated is the respect I receive from the community and the chance to improve myself through different experiences.
Question 8. What is your typical day like?
My day usually starts very early in the morning. I first make sure I'm ready for duty, and then I check the office or field tasks assigned to me. Throughout the day, I handle different responsibilities such as maintaining law and order, supervising my team, or assisting people who come with problems. By the evening, I try to finish on time so I can spend some quality moments with my family before resting for the next day.
Question 9. How do you usually spend your weekends?
Weekends are very special to me because I finally get to slow down. I usually spend them with my wife and children, playing with my little ones, watching a favorite anime, or sometimes going for a family outing nearby. Since weekdays are full of pressure, I use weekends to recharge myself and create happy memories with my family.
Question 10. Do you prefer to stay at home or go out in your free time?
Most of the time, I prefer to stay at home in my free time because it gives me comfort and peace of mind. I like sitting with my wife and children, watching something entertaining, or simply relaxing after a busy week. However, once in a while, I also enjoy going out for a short trip nearby, as it breaks the routine and refreshes my mood.
Question 11. What do you do in your free time?
In my free time, I usually watch anime or read something related to self-improvement. Anime, especially action and fantasy series, gives me both entertainment and inspiration because I relate to the characters' struggles and determination. Besides that, I sometimes listen to music or help my children with small activities, which makes me feel more connected to them.
Question 12. Do you have any hobbies? Tell me about them.
Yes, one of my main hobbies is watching anime, and I would say it's more than just entertainment for me. For example, I've watched One Punch Man around 30 times because the mix of comedy and action always cheers me up. Another favorite is Battle Through the Heavens, where the character's perseverance reminds me of my own struggles in life. I believe hobbies are important because they recharge us and bring balance to our busy schedules.
Question 13. Tell me about your hometown.
My hometown is Lakshmipur, which is a quiet and friendly place in Bangladesh. It's not as crowded or fast-paced as Dhaka, but that's exactly what I like about it. The people are warm-hearted, and life feels simpler there. Of course, it lacks some modern facilities, but whenever I visit, I feel a deep sense of belonging because it holds so many memories from my childhood.
Question 14. What is your house or flat like?
At present, I live in a modest but comfortable house that suits my family well. It's not very big, but it has everything we need. I especially like how my wife keeps it neat and organized, which makes the home feel warm and welcoming. To me, a house doesn't need to be luxurious. What matters is the sense of peace and togetherness we share inside it.
Question 15. Which is your favorite room at home and why?
My favorite room is the living room because that's where my family spends most of our time together. We gather there to watch TV, play with the kids, or sometimes talk after a long day. It feels like the heart of the home since all the happy moments and laughter usually happen in that space. For me, it represents comfort, love, and connection.
Question 16. Do you prefer living in a house or an apartment?
I definitely prefer living in a house because it gives more space and privacy for my family. With 2 little children, having a house means they can play freely without disturbing others, and we don't have to worry about noise from neighbors. An apartment might feel convenient in a big city, but I believe a house gives a warmer, family-friendly atmosphere.
Question 17. How long have you lived there? Would you like to move?
I have been living in my current house for several years now. It feels comfortable because I know the surroundings and my family has settled here. Honestly, I don't have a strong desire to move unless it's for professional reasons or to provide better educational facilities for my children. For now, I'm quite satisfied where we are.
Question 18. Tell me about your family.
My family is the most important part of my life. I live with my wife, who is a primary school teacher, and our 2 children, a 3-year-old daughter and a baby boy. Life with them is busy, but joyful. My wife is very supportive and keeps the home environment positive, while my kids give me endless energy after a tiring day at work.
Question 19. Who are you closest to in your family?
I would say I'm closest to my wife because she understands me better than anyone else. Whenever I'm stressed from work, she is the one I talk to, and she always gives me encouragement. At the same time, I share a very special bond with my daughter because she is old enough to talk and play with me, and those little conversations make me feel truly connected.
Question 20. Do you often meet your relatives?
I try to meet my relatives whenever I can, but honestly, my work schedule sometimes makes it difficult. Still, during festivals or special family events, we usually gather together, and it always feels refreshing. Spending time with relatives reminds me of my roots and gives me a sense of belonging, even though modern life often keeps us apart.
Question 21. Do you have many friends? How do you usually spend time with them?
Yes, I have a good number of friends, especially from my school days and from my profession. We don't meet every day, but when we do, we usually share meals, discuss our lives, or sometimes watch sports together. These friendships are valuable because they provide relaxation and honest conversations outside of work and family responsibilities.
Question 22. How often do you go shopping? What do you usually buy?
I go shopping once or twice a week, mostly for groceries and daily essentials. Since my wife is a teacher and quite busy, I like helping her by picking up things for the household. Occasionally, I also buy clothes for the kids because they're growing fast. For me, shopping is not about luxury. It's about fulfilling the family's needs.
Question 23. Do you prefer shopping online or in shops? Why?
I prefer shopping in shops because I like to see and check the quality of the products before buying. For example, when it comes to groceries or clothes, it's easier to judge in person. However, I sometimes use online platforms for convenience, especially if I need something quickly. But overall, I feel more confident when I shop physically.
Question 24. What kind of clothes do you usually wear?
Most of the time, I wear formal or semi-formal clothes because of my profession. At work, I'm usually in uniform, but outside, I like wearing simple shirts and trousers that feel comfortable. On weekends, I often switch to casual wear like t-shirts because it helps me relax and feel more at ease with my family.
Question 25. Do you follow fashion, or is fashion important in your country?
Personally, I don't follow fashion trends very closely because comfort matters more to me than style. However, I do notice that in Bangladesh, especially among young people, fashion is becoming more popular. They see it as a way of expressing themselves. For me, looking neat and presentable is enough, even if I'm not wearing the latest trend.
Question 26. Do you live in a house or a flat?
I live in a house with my family, and I really like it because it gives us enough space and a sense of privacy. Living in a house also means I can arrange things more freely, and my children have room to play safely. Compared to a flat, I feel a house is more comfortable and homely.
Question 27. Can you describe your home a little?
My home is quite simple but very cozy. It has a few rooms, including a living room, bedrooms, and a small kitchen. We try to keep everything neat and well arranged so that it feels welcoming. I think the most special part of my home is the living room, where we spend quality time together as a family.
Question 28. Which room do you like the most in your house? Why?
My favorite room is the living room because it is the place where the whole family gathers. After work, I usually spend time there playing with my children or talking with my wife. It feels like the heart of our home, full of warmth and togetherness.
Question 29. How long have you lived there?
I have been living in this house for several years, and during this time, it has become a big part of my life. I have many memories here, from celebrating festivals to watching my children grow up. That's why it feels more than just a house. It feels like a part of my identity.
Question 30. Do you plan to live there for a long time?
Yes, I plan to live here for a long time because my family is settled here and we feel comfortable in this neighborhood. Of course, if I ever get a chance to move abroad for study or work, I might consider it, but for now, I want to enjoy my home life here as much as possible.
Question 31. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food is traditional Bengali dishes, especially rice with fish curry. I enjoy it because it reminds me of home and family meals, and the flavors are both comforting and satisfying. Whenever I get a chance, I try to cook simple versions at home with my wife, which makes eating even more enjoyable.
Question 32. How often do you eat out? Or do you prefer home-cooked food or restaurant food?
I rarely eat out because I prefer home-cooked food, which is healthier and tastes more personal. However, on special occasions or festivals, we sometimes go to a restaurant to celebrate. I think home food also allows us to share meals as a family and create memories, which is more important than fancy dining.
Question 33. Do you like to try new kinds of food?
Yes, I enjoy trying new foods occasionally, especially when I travel or visit friends' houses. It's exciting to explore different tastes, and sometimes I discover new favorites. For example, I once tried a Japanese dish in Dhaka, and it was really delicious. I believe trying new foods is a fun way to experience culture.
Question 34. Tell me about a typical meal in your country.
A typical meal in Bangladesh usually consists of rice, lentils, vegetables, and fish or meat. Meals are balanced, nutritious, and often shared with the family. Breakfast might be lighter with bread or porridge, but lunch and dinner are more substantial. I enjoy this routine because it brings the family together and reflects our traditional lifestyle.
Question 35. Do you like watching films or TV? What kind of films do you like?
Yes, I enjoy watching films and TV shows, especially action and fantasy series. Anime is one of my favorite genres because it combines fun, excitement, and sometimes meaningful life lessons. For instance, One Punch Man is both entertaining and inspiring, and watching it helps me relax after a long day at work.
Question 36. How often do you watch TV? Or what do you usually watch?
I usually watch TV in the evening after work, mostly for about an hour. I prefer anime, news, and occasionally documentaries. This helps me unwind while keeping me informed about the world. Sometimes I watch shows with my wife and children, which also strengthens family bonds.
Question 37. Do you read books? What kind of books do you prefer?
Yes, I enjoy reading books in my free time. I prefer novels and stories that inspire or teach something meaningful. For example, I recently read a light fantasy novel that kept me engaged and also motivated me to think creatively. Reading helps me relax, learn, and sometimes gives me ideas for personal development.
Question 38. Do you prefer reading online or printed books?
I prefer printed books because I like the feel of paper and find it easier to focus. Online reading is convenient for quick articles or news, but for deep reading, I enjoy holding a book in my hand. It feels more immersive and less distracting than a screen.
Question 39. Do you use social media? Which platforms do you use most?
Yes, I use social media mainly to stay in touch with family, friends, and sometimes colleagues. I mostly use Facebook and WhatsApp because they are easy for communication and sharing updates. I try not to spend too much time on social media to maintain a balance between work, family, and personal life.
Question 40. How has technology changed your life?
Technology has made my life much more convenient and connected. With smartphones, the internet, and messaging apps, I can communicate with my family, check work updates, and even follow my favorite anime anytime. While it can be distracting at times, I feel that when used wisely, technology greatly improves efficiency and enriches personal experiences.
Question 41. What is your favorite gadget? Or how often do you use your phone?
My favorite gadget is my smartphone because it helps me stay organized, connected, and entertained. I use it several times a day, mostly to check work updates, message my family, and follow anime news or episodes. It's a tool that makes both my professional and personal life more efficient, and I find it hard to imagine a day without it.
Question 42. Do you use the internet at home? What do you usually do online?
Yes, I use the internet at home daily. I usually browse news, watch anime episodes, or search for useful tips related to work and personal growth. Sometimes I also use it to shop for essentials online. Overall, the internet has become a convenient and essential part of my routine.
Question 43. How do you travel around your city? Public transport or car or bike?
In my city, I mostly use motorbike or public transport. Motorbikes are convenient for short distances, especially during traffic hours, while public buses are useful for longer journeys. I try to choose the mode that saves time and energy so I can focus more on work and family activities.
Question 45. What means of transport do you prefer for long journeys?
For long journeys, I usually prefer buses or trains because they are more comfortable and economical. I like being able to relax during the trip instead of worrying about driving. Occasionally, for special trips with my family, we hire a car, which gives more privacy and flexibility.
Question 46. Have you ever traveled abroad? Tell me about one trip.
So far, I haven't had the chance to travel abroad, but it's something I would really like to do in the future. I imagine it would be exciting to experience new cultures, foods, and traditions. Even short trips within Bangladesh give me joy, so I am sure an international journey would be an unforgettable experience.
Question 47. Do you prefer holidays with family or with friends?
I prefer holidays with my family because I enjoy sharing experiences with them and creating lasting memories. While holidays with friends can be fun, I feel more responsible and connected when traveling with my wife and children. Family trips also strengthen bonds and allow us to enjoy simple joys together.
Question 48. How important is it to learn foreign languages?
I think learning foreign languages is
Question 46. What is your favorite place to visit in your country?
My favorite place to visit is Cox's Bazar because of its long sandy beach and relaxing atmosphere. I love spending time there with my family, walking along the shore, and letting my kids play in the sand. The peaceful environment helps me forget work stress and enjoy quality moments with my loved ones.
Question 48. How important is it to learn foreign languages?
I think learning foreign languages is very important because it opens opportunities for work, travel, and cultural understanding. For instance, knowing English helps me access global resources, communicate abroad, and even follow anime or other international media. It's a skill that broadens one's horizons in today's interconnected world.
Question 49. What kind of weather do you prefer? Or how does weather affect you?
I prefer mild and sunny weather because it makes it easier to plan outdoor activities with my family. Rainy days can be relaxing, but heavy rain sometimes affects my commute to work. Overall, I enjoy weather that allows me to stay active and spend quality time outdoors while maintaining comfort.
Question 50. What kind of music do you enjoy? Do you play any musical instruments?
I enjoy listening to calm and uplifting music, especially when I want to relax after work. I don't play any musical instruments myself, but I like listening to instrumental tracks or Bengali songs that create a peaceful atmosphere. Music helps me focus, unwind, and even enjoy moments with my family more fully.
Question 51. Do you like animals? Or do you have any pets?
Yes, I really like animals, especially dogs. Currently, we don't have a pet at home because of my busy schedule and small living space, but I hope to have one in the future. I enjoy spending time with animals whenever possible because they are playful, loyal, and bring a sense of joy and relaxation.
Question 52. Are festivals important in your country? Which is your favorite festival?
Festivals are very important in Bangladesh because they bring families and communities together. My favorite festival is Eid, as it's a time for family gatherings, delicious food, and sharing happiness with loved ones. I enjoy decorating the house, preparing traditional meals, and celebrating with my wife and children. It creates lasting memories for everyone.
Question 55. Are you a morning person or a night person?
I am definitely a morning person because my work starts early and I feel most productive in the first few hours of the day. Waking up early also gives me some quiet time to plan my tasks and enjoy a peaceful breakfast with my family before starting work. Nighttime is mostly reserved for relaxing with the family or catching up on small chores.
Question 56. How do you usually celebrate your birthday?
I usually celebrate my birthday with my family by having a simple meal and some small cake cutting ceremony. Since I have young children, the celebration is often playful and cheerful, filled with laughter and small gifts. I prefer this intimate and personal way rather than big parties as it makes the day more meaningful and memorable.
Question 57. What would you like to change about your hometown?
If I could change something about my hometown, I would improve the traffic system and basic infrastructure. It would make daily life easier and more comfortable for residents. Despite these challenges, I love the community and peaceful environment, which are the real charms of my hometown.
Question 58. Do you like to take photographs or do you use your phone camera often?
Yes, I enjoy taking photographs, especially of my family during special moments. I often use my phone camera because it's convenient and always with me. Capturing small everyday moments like my children playing or family outings allows me to preserve memories that I can look back on fondly.
Question 59. How do you keep healthy? Diet, exercise, or sleep?
I try to keep healthy by maintaining a balanced diet, exercising moderately, and sleeping on time. Even though my work can be physically and mentally demanding, I make it a point to take short walks, eat home cooked meals, and avoid late night distractions. This helps me stay energetic and focused throughout the day.
Question 60. Do you prefer to plan things or be spontaneous?
I usually prefer to plan things because it helps me stay organized and ensures my family life and work run smoothly. For example, I plan weekly grocery shopping and work schedules ahead of time, but sometimes I enjoy being spontaneous during leisure time, like a sudden outing with my family, which adds excitement and fun to life.
Question 61. Have you ever done any volunteer work?
Yes, I have participated in small volunteer activities through my workplace, such as community cleanups and awareness campaigns. Although I cannot do it very often due to my busy schedule, helping the community gives me a sense of satisfaction and purpose. I believe even small actions can make a positive difference in society.
Question 63. Do you prefer studying or working? Why?
I enjoy both studying and working, but if I have to choose, I prefer working because it allows me to apply knowledge practically and serve others. Studying is important to learn new skills, but work gives me immediate satisfaction and a sense of accomplishment, especially when it benefits my family or community.
Question 64. What skills do you think are important for the future?
I believe communication, problem solving, and digital skills will be very important in the future. Being able to express ideas clearly, think critically, and use technology efficiently can open many opportunities in any profession. For me, improving these skills is a continuous process that helps both in personal and professional life.
Question 65. How do you balance work and personal life?
Balancing work and personal life is challenging but essential. I try to finish my professional duties on time so that I can spend evenings with my family, play with my children, or watch anime with my wife. Planning my day, prioritizing tasks, and making sure I allocate time for rest and family helps me maintain harmony and avoid stress.
Question 1. Describe a person you admire.
The person I admire most is my wife, because she is incredibly dedicated and caring. She works as a primary school teacher, yet she always finds time to take care of our children and manage our home efficiently. I admire her patience and positivity, especially when handling stressful situations with the kids or our daily routines. Her ability to stay calm, motivate others, and balance work and family life inspires me to be a better person every day. I also admire how she manages small things that many people overlook, like making our home cozy and ensuring everything is clean and organized. Watching her handle challenges with a smile teaches me the importance of resilience and kindness in everyday life.
Question 2. Describe a teacher who has influenced you.
A teacher who influenced me the most is my high school science teacher. He was very passionate about his subject and made learning exciting by giving real-life examples. His teaching style encouraged me to think critically rather than memorize facts. Even now, I try to apply his advice about being curious and disciplined in my work and personal life. He taught me that patience and persistence can help overcome challenges. I especially remember how he used simple stories to explain difficult concepts, which made lessons enjoyable and memorable. His guidance not only improved my academic skills, but also shaped the way I approach problem solving in daily life.
Question 3. Describe a friend you have known for a long time.
I have a friend whom I have known since childhood, and our friendship has grown stronger over the years. We share common interests like sports and technology, and we often talk about life challenges and achievements. I appreciate his honesty and loyalty, as he always supports me in difficult situations. Spending time with him feels effortless, and his presence reminds me of the value of long-lasting friendships. I also enjoy recalling our old memories, like playing games together or helping each other with school projects, which makes our bond deeper. This friendship has taught me the importance of trust, understanding, and having someone who genuinely cares in life.
Question 4. Describe a family member you are close to.
I am closest to my daughter because she is lively and curious, and spending time with her is always enjoyable. Despite being only 3 years old, she asks many questions and expresses her thoughts openly, which keeps me engaged and cheerful. I feel responsible for guiding her, and our daily interactions, like playing games or reading stories together, create unforgettable memories. Being close to her also strengthens my bond with my wife as we share parenting responsibilities. I especially enjoy moments when she surprises me with her small achievements or funny remarks, which always bring a smile to my face. These interactions make me appreciate the simple joys of family life even more.
Question 5. Describe someone you met recently and enjoyed talking to.
Recently, I met a senior colleague during a training session, and I really enjoyed talking to him. He shared his experiences in the police force, offered practical advice, and encouraged me to improve my professional skills. His storytelling was both motivating and entertaining, and I learned a lot from his perspective. The conversation left a positive impression on me, and it reminded me how meaningful interactions can inspire personal growth. I especially appreciated how he explained complex situations in a simple way, making his experiences relatable and easy to understand. Talking to him not only gave me useful guidance, but also motivated me to approach my work and personal goals with more focus and enthusiasm.
Question 6. Describe a place you would like to visit.
A place I would really like to visit is Japan, because I have always been fascinated by its culture, technology, and natural beauty. I would love to explore cities like Tokyo and Kyoto, visit temples, try authentic Japanese food, and experience the cherry blossom season. Visiting Japan would also give me a chance to learn more about their customs and lifestyle, which I find very inspiring. I imagine walking through traditional streets, enjoying local delicacies, and seeing modern technology alongside historical architecture would be both exciting and memorable. This trip would not only be enjoyable, but also broaden my understanding of a completely different culture, and I hope to plan it with my family in the future.
Question 7. Describe a city you have visited and liked.
One city I have visited and really liked is Cox's Bazar. The long sandy beach and calm sea make it an ideal place to relax with my family. We spent time walking along the shore, watching the sunset, and letting my children play in the sand, which was very joyful. I also enjoyed the local food and friendly people, which made our stay even more pleasant. Cox's Bazar left a lasting impression because it offered both fun and peace, allowing us to forget the usual stress of work and daily life. Visiting this city reminded me of the importance of taking time off to connect with family and enjoy simple pleasures.
Question 8. Describe a place in your country you would recommend to others.
I would highly recommend visiting St. Martin's Island in Bangladesh to anyone who loves nature and tranquility. It is a small island with crystal clear water and a peaceful environment, perfect for a short escape from the busy city life. I went with my family last year and we enjoyed snorkeling, walking along the shore, and exploring the small local shops. The experience was refreshing and gave us quality family time. I think everyone should visit at least once to appreciate the natural beauty and calmness that is rare in today's hectic life.
Question 9. Describe a park or garden in your city.
In my city, I like visiting the district park because it's green, spacious, and peaceful. I usually go there in the evenings with my children to let them run and play while I enjoy some fresh air. There are walking paths, benches, and small ponds that make the park enjoyable for both adults and kids. Spending time there helps me relax and clear my mind after a busy day at work. The park also provides opportunities to meet other families and socialize, which adds to the pleasant experience. I feel lucky to have such a nice place nearby for relaxation and leisure.
Question 10. Describe a place you go to relax.
My favorite place to relax is our small rooftop garden at home, where I can enjoy the fresh air and quiet environment. I often spend time there early in the morning or after work, reading a book, drinking tea, or simply watching my children play. The calmness of this space helps me forget the stress of work and daily responsibilities. Sometimes I also invite my wife to join me, and we enjoy a few peaceful moments together. This small rooftop garden may be simple, but it's very special because it provides a personal space for relaxation and reflection, making me feel refreshed and more focused.
Question 11. Describe a festival you enjoy celebrating.
My favorite festival is Eid because it brings my entire family together and creates a joyful atmosphere at home. We start by preparing delicious traditional meals, decorating the house, and shopping for new clothes. On the day of Eid, we perform prayers, exchange greetings, and share food with neighbors and relatives. I especially enjoy seeing the happiness on my children's faces when they receive gifts or go on small outings with us. Eid is not just about celebration, but also about expressing gratitude, strengthening family bonds, and spending quality time together. These moments make the festival very memorable for me every year, and I always look forward to it.
Question 12. Describe a wedding you attended.
I recently attended my cousin's wedding, and it was a wonderful experience. The ceremony was colorful, lively, and full of traditions, from the decoration to the music and dance. I enjoyed interacting with family members I hadn't met in a long time and watching my children enjoy the celebrations. The food was delicious, and everyone was cheerful and welcoming. Attending this wedding reminded me of the importance of family ties and traditions, as well as the joy that comes from celebrating together. It was a memorable day that left lasting impressions on all of us.
Question 13. Describe a party you enjoyed.
One party I really enjoyed was my friend's birthday celebration last year. It was a small gathering at his house with close friends and family. We played games, shared stories, and had a lot of laughter, which made the atmosphere very lively. I especially enjoyed the group activities, where everyone participated and contributed to the fun. Even though it was a simple party, it was memorable because of the warmth and connection among the attendees. That day reminded me that the best celebrations are not about luxury, but about enjoying moments together with people you care about.
Question 14. Describe a special event you celebrated.
A special event I celebrated recently was my son's first birthday. It was a small family gathering at home, but we made it very colorful with decorations, cake, and little gifts. We invited close relatives, played simple games, and captured lots of photographs. Watching my son's expressions when he saw the cake and balloons was truly delightful. This event was special because it marked an important milestone in his life, and it brought our family even closer. Moments like these are unforgettable and give me a deep sense of joy and fulfillment.
Question 15. Describe a time you received a gift.
I remember receiving a gift from my wife on my last birthday, and it was very thoughtful and meaningful. She gave me a set of personal planners and a small handmade card expressing her love and encouragement. I felt appreciated and loved, and it reminded me how meaningful simple gestures can be. Gifts are not just about their material value, but the thought and effort behind them that make them special. This experience strengthened our bond and made my birthday truly memorable.
Question 16. Describe a book you have read recently.
A book I recently read is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Question 16. Describe a book you have read recently.
A book I recently read is The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho, and I found it very inspiring. The story is about following your dreams and listening to your heart, which resonates with me as I try to balance my professional life and family responsibilities. I enjoyed how the author used simple yet meaningful language to convey deep life lessons. Reading this book encouraged me to reflect on my goals, be patient, and stay persistent even when challenges arise. I also found myself sharing some ideas from the book with my wife, which sparked interesting conversations about dreams and life choices.
Question 17. Describe a subject you enjoyed studying.
When I was in school, I really enjoyed studying science because it helped me understand how things work in the world around me. I liked conducting small experiments, asking questions, and finding logical answers. Science taught me to think critically and observe details carefully, skills that are useful even now in my work as a police officer. I also enjoyed discussing scientific ideas with my classmates, which made learning more interactive and fun. This subject not only increased my curiosity, but also taught me problem-solving techniques that I still apply in daily life.
Question 18. Describe a skill you would like to learn.
One skill I would like to learn is cooking international cuisine, especially dishes from Japan and Italy. Although I already cook basic meals at home, I want to expand my skills and experiment with new recipes. Learning this skill would allow me to surprise my family with special meals and also make cooking more enjoyable as a hobby. I plan to watch online tutorials, practice regularly, and gradually improve. Mastering this skill would not only be fun, but also give me a sense of achievement and creativity in my personal life.
Question 19. Describe a hobby you enjoy.
One hobby I really enjoy is watching anime, particularly action comedy series like One Punch Man and Battle Through the Heavens. I usually watch them in the evenings after finishing my work and spending time with my children. This hobby helps me relax, escape from daily stress, and enjoy entertaining stories with strong characters and vivid visuals. I sometimes discuss episodes with my wife or friends, which makes it even more engaging. Anime not only provides fun, but also inspires me with lessons about perseverance, teamwork, and strategy.
Question 20. Describe an activity you do in your free time.
In my free time, I like cleaning and organizing small spaces at home or at the office because it gives me a sense of satisfaction and accomplishment. While it may sound simple, I enjoy arranging things neatly, disinfecting surfaces, and creating an orderly environment. This activity helps me focus, reduces stress, and makes the surroundings more pleasant for everyone. I also involve my children in small tasks sometimes, which teaches them responsibility in a fun way. Free time activities like this are meaningful because they improve both my mood and daily life organization.
Question 21. Describe a pet you have or would like to have.
I would love to have a small dog as a pet because dogs are loyal, friendly, and bring joy to a home. Having a pet would allow me and my children to learn responsibility, empathy, and care for another living being. I imagine spending time playing, walking, and teaching the dog simple tricks, which would also be a fun family activity. A pet can also reduce stress and provide companionship, especially during quiet evenings at home. The idea of having a playful dog around makes our home feel more lively, and I hope to adopt one once our children are a bit older so we can enjoy the experience together.
Question 22. Describe an animal you find interesting.
One animal I find extremely interesting is the tiger because it is strong, graceful, and powerful. I have always admired its majestic appearance and hunting skills, which show both intelligence and survival instincts. Even though I have only seen tigers in documentaries and a wildlife sanctuary, learning about their behavior and habitat fascinates me. Tigers also remind me of the importance of protecting wildlife, as they are endangered due to human activities. Studying and observing such an amazing animal inspires respect for nature and the balance of ecosystems.
Question 23. Describe an environmental issue in your area.
A major environmental issue in my city is pollution, especially air and plastic waste. Traffic congestion and industrial smoke make the air unhealthy, and plastic litter clogs drains and harms animals. I try to do my part by reducing plastic use, keeping my surroundings clean, and educating my family about recycling. Community awareness programs and occasional volunteer cleanup activities also help tackle the problem. Addressing this issue is crucial because a clean environment directly affects our health, children's future, and overall quality of life. It reminds me that even small individual efforts can create a big positive impact.
Question 24. Describe a trip you took.
One of the most memorable trips I took was to Cox's Bazar with my family last year. We enjoyed walking along the long sandy beach, watching the sunset, and letting our children play in the water. The food, local culture, and friendly people made the experience even more enjoyable. This trip was special because it allowed us to spend quality time together, away from the stress of work and daily routines. I also learned how planning and teamwork are important during family trips as we coordinated travel, food, and activities smoothly. It was not only relaxing, but also created unforgettable memories for everyone.
Question 25. Describe a piece of technology you find useful.
A piece of technology I find extremely useful is my smartphone because it helps me stay connected, organized, and informed. I use it for communication with my family, managing work schedules, and accessing educational content or news. Smartphones also allow me to track finances, control household tasks, and enjoy leisure activities like watching videos or anime. What makes it even more valuable is the ability to stay in touch with friends and relatives far away, which strengthens relationships. Overall, it simplifies daily life, improves efficiency, and provides entertainment, making it an indispensable tool in today's world.
Question 26. Describe a healthy habit you follow.
One healthy habit I follow is maintaining a balanced diet along with regular exercise. I try to eat fresh vegetables, fruits, and protein-rich foods while avoiding excessive junk food. Early in the morning, I do light stretching and a short walk, which helps me stay energetic throughout the day. This habit has improved my overall health, mood, and concentration at work. I also involve my family in small fitness activities like walking together in the evening, which encourages them to be healthy as well. Maintaining this routine reminds me that small, consistent efforts make a significant difference in long-term well-being.
Question 27. Describe a work experience you enjoyed.
One work experience I truly enjoyed was participating in a community policing program where we organized safety awareness campaigns. I worked with my colleagues to educate local people about traffic rules and home safety. The experience was rewarding because I could directly help others and see positive changes in the community. It also improved my teamwork, communication, and organizational skills. Engaging with the public in a meaningful way made me feel proud of my profession and reinforced the idea that helping others can be both satisfying and motivating.
Question 28. Describe a skill you would like to learn for the future.
A skill I would like to learn for the future is digital data analysis because it's becoming increasingly important in every field. Understanding data trends, using software tools, and interpreting statistics could help me make better decisions in work and personal projects. I plan to take online courses and practice using real-life examples to gradually improve. Learning this skill would not only enhance my professional capabilities, but also give me confidence in problem solving and planning. I believe that investing time in future-oriented skills is essential to stay adaptable in a rapidly changing world.
Question 30. Describe a time you balanced work and personal life.
Recently, I had a very busy week at work, but I managed to balance my duties with spending quality time with my family. I prioritized tasks, delegated where possible, and made sure to reserve evenings for my children and wife. We had dinner together, shared stories, and played small games, which created joyful moments despite my hectic schedule. Balancing work and family reminded me that proper planning, patience, and setting boundaries are key to maintaining harmony. It also showed me that success is not just about work achievements, but also about nurturing relationships and personal well-being.
Question 30. Describe a health-related change you would like to make.
One health-related change I would like to make is to incorporate more regular physical exercise into my daily routine. Although I maintain a healthy diet, I often find it hard to dedicate enough time to exercise due to work and family responsibilities. I plan to schedule short workout sessions in the morning or evening and gradually increase their duration. Making this change would improve my stamina, reduce stress, and boost overall energy levels. I believe that investing in physical health now will benefit both my professional performance and family life in the long run.
Question 1. How important is family in your life? Why?
I have always considered family extremely important because they provide emotional support, guidance, and stability. I have shared countless moments with my wife and children which have strengthened our bond and taught me the value of love and patience. When I was younger, I depended heavily on my parents for advice and encouragement, and even now, I consult them when making important decisions. In daily life, I make sure to spend quality time with my family, sharing meals, playing with my children, and discussing plans, which keeps us close and happy. In the future, I will continue prioritizing family by maintaining strong communication, celebrating milestones together, and creating a nurturing environment for my children to grow up confident and caring. Family has shaped who I am today, and it will always remain central to my life.
Question 2. How has the role of parents changed in your country? Why?
Parents have played a more involved role in their children's lives than ever before because education and child development have become more demanding and competitive. I have noticed that my own parents used to focus mainly on providing necessities and basic guidance, but now they also actively participate in my children's learning and hobbies. In my childhood, parental support was mostly limited to discipline and basic care. But today, parents attend school meetings, extracurricular events, and even guide career choices. Currently, I also try to balance work and parenting by being attentive and responsive to my children's needs. In the future, I believe parents will increasingly adopt modern tools like educational apps and technology to support children's growth while teaching them values, which makes parenting both more challenging and rewarding.
Question 4. Do you think children today have more pressure than before? Why?
Children today have faced more pressure than in the past due to increased competition in academics and extracurricular activities. I have observed that my niece and nephew often spend long hours preparing for exams or coaching classes, which is very different from my carefree childhood. When I was a child, I spent more time playing outdoors and exploring hobbies, and academic pressure was less intense. Currently, even my own children are beginning to experience structured routines, though I try to balance them with playful and relaxing activities. In the future, I anticipate that this pressure will continue to grow, so it will be essential for parents like me to help children manage stress, maintain mental health, and enjoy learning without fear or exhaustion.
Question 5. How do families spend time together in your country? Why?
Families in my country have increasingly prioritized spending quality time together because modern life is busy and work can be stressful. I have spent many evenings with my wife and children at home, playing games, reading stories, or simply chatting about daily experiences. When I was younger, my family used to gather during meals or festivals, and these moments were treasured opportunities for bonding. Today, I make conscious efforts to schedule family dinners and weekend outings, even if work is demanding. In the future, I will try to involve my children in educational trips, sports, and cultural activities, ensuring that family time is both meaningful and memorable. Spending time together strengthens relationships and builds lasting memories.
Question 6. Do you think the family structure will change in the future? Why?
Family structure has been gradually changing and will likely continue evolving due to social and economic factors. I have noticed that extended families used to live together in my parents' time, which offered constant support and shared responsibilities. In the past, living arrangements were simpler, with multiple generations under one roof. Currently, nuclear families like mine are more common, and while this allows more privacy, it also means fewer daily interactions with relatives. In the future, I believe family units may become even smaller or more flexible, and technology will help maintain connections between distant relatives. Despite these changes, the essence of family, love, support, and guidance will remain unchanged, and I will continue nurturing it in my home. The reason we do this is that it strengthens family bonds and ensures everyone feels valued and included.
Question 7. In a typical family, who plays the leading role?
I've always believed that in my family, my wife and I share the leading role because we make major decisions together, whether it's regarding finances, education, or household matters. When I was growing up, my father usually took the lead, providing guidance and setting rules, while my mother managed daily routines and cared for everyone. Currently, I make sure that both my wife and I are equally involved in decision-making, as this balance creates harmony and mutual respect at home. In the future, I plan to continue sharing responsibilities with my wife while teaching my children the value of teamwork and cooperation, so they understand that leadership in a family comes from collaboration rather than hierarchy. The reason we do this is that it strengthens family bonds and ensures everyone feels valued and included.
Question 8. In your country, what kinds of family members usually live together?
I've noticed that traditionally, families in Bangladesh have often lived with multiple generations under one roof because it offers support, shared responsibilities, and stronger family ties. In the past, I lived with my grandparents, parents, and siblings, which allowed me to learn family values and traditions from an early age. Currently, in my own family, we live as a nuclear family with just my wife, 2 children, and me, but we maintain close ties with extended relatives who live nearby. In the future, I expect that families will continue to prefer nuclear setups for convenience and privacy, but cultural festivals and visits will keep extended family relationships strong. The reason this pattern exists is that living together or nearby ensures emotional support, childcare help, and passing down traditions seamlessly.
Question 9. Do young and middle-aged people live with older people? Why?
I have seen that many young and middle-aged people still live with their parents or older relatives because it provides financial support, guidance, and mutual care. When I was younger, it was normal for children like me to live with grandparents, benefiting from their wisdom and daily care. Currently, I notice that although younger families often prefer independence, they frequently visit or stay with older family members during festivals or emergencies. In the future, I believe most people will maintain flexible arrangements, maybe living separately but remaining closely connected through visits and technology. The reason behind this is that close proximity allows for sharing responsibilities, supporting elderly family members, and passing down traditions seamlessly.
Question 10. Is the nanny and/or the daycare center the third parent?
I have often thought that a nanny or daycare center can support parenting but cannot replace a parent because emotional bonds, values, and life lessons are primarily taught by family members. In the past, children like me were mostly cared for by parents and relatives, which ensured personal attention and guidance. Currently, I sometimes rely on daycare for my children when work is demanding, but I remain the primary guide in their education, discipline, and emotional development. In the future, I will continue prioritizing spending personal time with my children while using external help only as support. The reason is that while caregivers assist in daily routines, real parental influence comes from love, presence, and consistent guidance, which cannot be outsourced.
Question 11. Where is the best place to raise a family?
I have found that the best place to raise a family is an environment that is safe, supportive, and offers educational and recreational opportunities for children. When I was growing up, living in a neighborhood with parks, schools, and extended family close by allowed me to develop socially and academically. Currently, I make sure my children grow up in a secure area with good schools, nearby relatives, and open spaces for play, which fosters both safety and personal growth. In the future, I hope to move or enhance our surroundings if needed to ensure my children have the best environment possible. The reason this is so important is that a nurturing, stable, and resourceful environment shapes children's personality, confidence, and future success.
Question 12. Should schools teach both arts and science?
I have always believed that schools should teach both arts and science because a well-rounded education develops creativity, critical thinking, and problem-solving skills. When I was a student, my school emphasized science subjects more, but I also enjoyed drawing and music, which helped me think differently and express myself. Currently, I think students benefit from learning a mix of subjects as it broadens their perspectives and keeps them adaptable in life. In the future, I hope schools will continue offering a balanced curriculum so that children can explore their talents and make informed career choices. The reason combining arts and science fosters not only intellectual growth but also emotional and creative development.
Question 13. What kinds of courses are useful for university students?
I have noticed that courses which teach practical skills and critical thinking are most useful for university students because they prepare them for real-world challenges. When I studied, theoretical knowledge was emphasized, but I found courses on computer skills, communication, and problem solving extremely helpful. Currently, I advise young people to choose subjects that enhance both technical knowledge and life skills. In the future, I believe students will need courses on emerging technologies, entrepreneurship, and soft skills to succeed in a competitive world. The reason university education should not only provide information but also prepare students to adapt and contribute effectively to society.
Question 14. Why do some students dislike studying at school?
I have observed that some students dislike studying at school because they may feel pressured, bored, or disconnected from the curriculum. In the past, I also sometimes felt unmotivated when lessons were repetitive and focused only on memorization. Currently, I notice that children enjoy learning more when lessons are interactive, practical, and linked to their interests. In the future, I hope teaching methods will become more student-centered, incorporating hands-on activities and technology to make learning engaging. The reason students dislike school often relates to lack of relevance, creativity, and personal attention, which can be addressed by modern educational approaches.
Question 15. What school activities are good for school children?
I have seen that extracurricular activities such as sports, music, drama, and debate clubs are extremely beneficial because they develop social skills, confidence, and teamwork. When I was a child, participating in cricket and school drama helped me make friends, manage stress, and improve communication. Currently, I encourage my children to take part in both physical and creative activities as they complement classroom learning. In the future, I believe schools will increasingly include coding, environmental projects, and leadership programs to prepare students for a well-rounded life. The reason these activities are valuable is that they not only impart knowledge but also shape character, skills, and career readiness.
Question 17. Are college tuition fees reasonable in your country?
I have noticed that college tuition fees in Bangladesh can be high compared to average income, which makes access difficult for some families. In the past, my parents had to make significant sacrifices to support my higher education, which was challenging but worth it. Currently, many private institutions charge premium fees, while government colleges remain more affordable. In the future, I hope scholarships and government initiatives will expand, making higher education accessible to more students. The reason fees can feel unreasonable is that while quality education costs money, affordability is crucial to ensure equal opportunities for all.
Question 18. Do many people in your country study abroad?
I have seen that a growing number of students from Bangladesh study abroad because they seek higher quality education, better exposure, and international experience. When I was younger, only a few students could afford this opportunity, mostly in countries like the UK, USA, or Australia. Currently, more families prioritize overseas education, and I know some relatives who have benefited from studying abroad. In the future, I believe this trend will continue as global competitiveness increases and more scholarships become available. The reason people study abroad is to gain advanced knowledge, broader perspectives, and improved career prospects that may not be available locally.
Question 19. Are women encouraged to pursue education?
I have always noticed that women in my community are increasingly encouraged to pursue education because society recognizes the importance of gender equality and empowerment. When my mother was young, educational opportunities for girls were limited and she faced many challenges. Currently, my wife and nieces have full access to schools and universities, and society is supportive of their academic and professional ambitions. In the future, I believe this encouragement will grow even more, with more women taking leadership roles and contributing significantly to society. The reason for this positive change is that educating women benefits families, communities, and the nation as a whole.
Question 20. Do you think teachers are paid enough?
I have often felt that teachers in my country are underpaid considering their workload, dedication, and impact on students' lives. When I was in school, many teachers worked long hours and went beyond their duties to help students succeed, yet their salaries were modest. Currently, I notice that although some top private schools pay better, most public school teachers receive relatively low compensation. In the future, I hope governments and institutions will raise teacher salaries to reflect their value and encourage talented individuals to enter the profession. The reason higher pay is important is that well-compensated teachers are more motivated, which ultimately benefits students and the quality of education.
Question 21. How has technology changed the way people communicate?
I have observed that technology has dramatically changed the way people communicate because instant messaging, video calls, and social media allow us to stay connected with anyone, anywhere. When I was younger, communication relied mainly on letters, landline phones, and face-to-face meetings, which took more time and effort. Currently, I regularly use messaging apps and video calls to talk to my family, friends, and colleagues, which saves time and strengthens relationships. In the future, I believe technology will enable even more immersive ways to connect, such as virtual reality meetings and AI-powered translation, making distance irrelevant. The reason this is significant is that fast and convenient communication helps maintain personal and professional bonds efficiently.
Question 22. Do you think technology has made people more isolated?
I have noticed that while technology connects people globally, it has sometimes made them more isolated in daily life because online interactions can replace face to face conversations. In the past, people in my neighborhood used to meet frequently, chat, and play together, which fostered strong social bonds. Currently, even I notice that my children sometimes prefer spending time on tablets rather than playing outdoors or talking with friends in person. In the future, I hope families like mine will balance online engagement with real world interactions to maintain social skills and emotional well being. The reason isolation happens is that virtual connections, while convenient, often lack the depth and warmth of physical presence.
Question 23. What are the advantages and disadvantages of using social media?
I have found that social media offers many advantages, such as staying in touch with friends, sharing experiences, and learning new information. But it also has disadvantages like distraction, misinformation, and privacy concerns. When I first started using social media, it was mostly enjoyable and informative, allowing me to follow news, trends, and family updates. Currently, I try to use it mindfully to avoid wasting time or getting involved in negative discussions. In the future, I plan to guide my children on responsible social media use, ensuring they benefit from it without being affected by its pitfalls. The reason it has both pros and cons is that social media is a powerful tool, but without proper limits, it can negatively impact focus, relationships, and mental health.
Question 24. How do you think technology will change in the next 10 years?
I have noticed rapid technological advancements in the past decade, and I believe technology will continue to evolve dramatically in the next 10 years because innovations in AI, robotics, and virtual reality are progressing fast. When I was younger, technology was limited to computers and mobile phones, which already transformed communication and work. Currently, I see AI tools and smart devices becoming part of daily life, helping with tasks, learning, and entertainment. In the future, I expect technology will integrate even more seamlessly into homes, workplaces, and schools, creating smart environments that anticipate needs and improve efficiency. The reason this change is important is that embracing technology responsibly can enhance productivity, education, and quality of life.
Question 25. Do you think people rely too much on technology?
I have often thought that many people rely heavily on technology because it simplifies tasks, provides instant information, and manages daily routines. In the past, I managed schedules, research, and communication manually, which required more effort and time. Currently, I notice that even I use smartphones, apps, and devices for almost everything, from banking to learning, which shows how integrated technology has become. In the future, I plan to ensure my children learn to use technology as a tool rather than a crutch so they develop problem solving skills and independence. The reason over reliance happens is that while technology is convenient, excessive dependence can weaken critical thinking, memory, and social skills.
Question 26. What are the main environmental problems in your country?
I have noticed that the main environmental problems in Bangladesh include air and water pollution, deforestation, and waste management issues because rapid urbanization and industrialization have increased environmental pressure. When I was younger, the air and water were relatively cleaner and there were more green spaces in neighborhoods. Currently, I see crowded streets, industrial smoke, and plastic waste in rivers, which are affecting public health and wildlife. In the future, I believe urgent actions like stricter regulations, awareness campaigns, and sustainable urban planning will be necessary to improve the environment. The reason these problems matter is that a healthy environment directly impacts our well-being, economy, and future generations.
Question 27. What can individuals do to help protect the environment?
I have observed that individuals can play a significant role in protecting the environment by reducing waste, conserving energy, planting trees, and using eco-friendly transport. When I was younger, I did not pay much attention to environmental habits, but now I make sure to use minimal plastic, segregate waste, and encourage my children to recycle. Currently, I also try to use energy-efficient appliances and promote awareness among my friends and neighbors. In the future, I will continue practicing sustainable habits and hope to inspire others to do the same. The reason individual actions are important is that collective efforts can create a significant positive impact on environmental conservation.
Question 28. How can governments encourage people to be more environmentally friendly?
I have noticed that governments can encourage eco-friendly behavior by implementing policies, offering incentives, and running public awareness campaigns because people often need guidance and motivation. In the past, environmental regulations were less strict and few people paid attention to pollution control. Currently, I see some campaigns promoting recycling, tree planting, and reduced use of plastic, but enforcement could be stronger. In the future, I hope the government will introduce subsidies for green energy, stricter penalties for polluters, and more environmental education in schools. The reason government involvement is crucial is that it can shape public behavior and provide the resources needed for large-scale environmental protection.
Question 29. Do you think environmental issues are more important than economic issues?
I have often thought that environmental issues should be given at least equal importance to economic issues because without a healthy environment, economic growth becomes unsustainable. When I was younger, development projects focused heavily on economic growth without much consideration for environmental impact, which led to problems like river pollution and deforestation. Currently, I realize that balancing both is essential. We need economic progress, but not at the cost of destroying natural resources. In the future, I believe policies will increasingly integrate green growth strategies that promote both environmental protection and economic development. The reason environmental issues are critical is that clean air, water, and land are fundamental for long-term prosperity and human survival.
Question 30. How has the environment changed in your country over the past few decades?
I have noticed significant environmental changes in Bangladesh over the past few decades, including urbanization, river pollution, and reduction in green spaces, which are consequences of population growth and industrial development. When I was a child, neighborhoods had more trees, open fields, and cleaner water bodies, which made life healthier and more enjoyable. Currently, I see crowded streets, increased plastic waste, and rising air pollution levels, which are affecting both health and quality of life. In the future, I hope that government initiatives, public awareness, and sustainable practices will help restore environmental balance. The reason these changes matter is that environmental degradation not only impacts nature, but also public health, lifestyle, and the future of coming generations.
Question 31. What social problems are there in your country?
I have noticed that Bangladesh faces several social problems, including poverty, unemployment, gender inequality, and corruption, because rapid population growth and economic challenges put pressure on resources and social systems. When I was younger, communities were smaller and social issues were less visible. But today, urban and rural areas both face challenges like income disparity and limited access to education. Currently, I see that NGOs, government programs, and community efforts are trying to address these problems, but progress is gradual. In the future, I hope comprehensive policies, education, and public awareness will reduce social inequalities. The reason these issues are critical is that social problems affect stability, well-being, and the overall quality of life in society.
Question 32. What can be done to alleviate poverty?
I have observed that poverty can be alleviated through education, employment opportunities, and government support because empowerment and income generation provide sustainable solutions. When I was younger, my family benefited from community support programs that helped relatives start small businesses or get vocational training. Currently, I noticed that microfinance initiatives and skills training programs are assisting many people to improve their lives. In the future, I believe more focused investment in education, infrastructure, and social welfare will help eradicate extreme poverty. The reason this matters is that addressing poverty strengthens families, reduces crime, and enables children to pursue better futures.
Question 33. Are there many charities in your country?
I have found that Bangladesh has a large number of charities and nonprofit organizations because social needs are significant and communities actively seek support. In the past, charitable work was mostly local and informal, like helping neighbors during difficult times. Currently, I see organized charities addressing education, health, disaster relief, and poverty, and I sometimes participate in donation drives myself. In the future, I hope more people will engage with charities, either through volunteering or financial support, to help vulnerable communities. The reason charities exist in large numbers is that they complement government efforts and directly improve the lives of disadvantaged people.
Question 35. Do you think all criminals should go to prison?
I have often thought that not all criminals should go to prison because rehabilitation, community service, and restorative justice can be more effective for minor offenses. When I was younger, I saw petty offenders like school-age vandals punished with fines or warnings, which often reformed their behavior. Currently, I believe serious crimes must have strict penalties, but minor crimes can be addressed through education and community-based programs. In the future, I hope the justice system will focus more on rehabilitation, reducing recidivism while ensuring safety. The reason not all criminals should go to prison is that punishment alone does not address root causes, and supportive measures can create long-term positive change.
Question 35. Do you think all criminals should go to prison?
I have often thought that not all criminals should go to prison because rehabilitation, community service, and restorative justice can be more effective for minor offenses. When I was younger, I saw petty offenders like school-age vandals punished with fines or warnings, which often reformed their behavior. Currently, I believe serious crimes must have strict penalties, but minor crimes can be addressed through education and community-based programs. In the future, I hope the criminal justice system will focus more on rehabilitation, reducing recidivism, while ensuring safety. The reason not all criminals should go to prison is that punishment alone does not address root causes, and supportive measures can create long-term positive change.
Question 35. Why do so many people move to live in cities?
I have observed that people move to cities in Bangladesh mainly for better employment, education, healthcare, and lifestyle opportunities because rural areas often lack these resources. When I was younger, my family lived in a small town where work and educational options were limited, prompting many relatives to relocate to urban centers. Currently, I see migration continues, with cities becoming crowded but offering more convenience and modern facilities. In the future, I hope urban planning, infrastructure development, and rural investment will balance migration and reduce the pressure on cities. The reason people move is that cities promise improved living standards, career growth, and access to essential services.
Question 36. What problems does overpopulation cause?
I have noticed that overpopulation in Bangladesh causes traffic congestion, pollution, housing shortages, strain on education and healthcare, and increased competition for jobs because resources cannot keep pace with population growth. When I was younger, overcrowding was less severe and communities were calmer with more open spaces. Currently, I experience longer commuting times, crowded markets, and environmental degradation due to population density. In the future, I believe government policies, family planning, and urban development strategies will be essential to manage these challenges effectively. The reason overpopulation is problematic is that it negatively impacts quality of life, public health, and sustainable development.
Question 37. How do most people travel around cities in your country?
I have noticed that most people in Bangladeshi cities travel by rickshaws, buses, private cars, and ride-sharing apps because these are convenient and relatively affordable options. When I was younger, people mostly relied on rickshaws, buses, and bicycles, which were slower but created a sense of community on the streets. Currently, I often use a combination of private vehicles and ride-hailing services, which saves time but sometimes causes traffic congestion. In the future, I believe improved infrastructure and smart traffic management will make commuting faster and less stressful. The reason city transport is dominated by these modes is that affordability, accessibility, and familiarity play a major role in daily choices.
Question 38. How do most people travel around your country?
I have observed that people mostly travel long distances by trains, buses, and domestic flights because they connect major cities and regions efficiently. When I was younger, buses and trains were the primary means and journeys were longer but often allowed travelers to interact and enjoy the scenery. Currently, domestic flights have become more common for long distance travel, especially for work or family visits, as they save time considerably. In the future, I think high speed trains and better highway networks will make travel more comfortable and faster. The reason these transport modes are popular is that they balance cost, convenience, and speed for most travelers.
Question 40. What do you think of the public transport in your country?
I have often found that public transport in Bangladesh is convenient but overcrowded, outdated, and sometimes unreliable, especially during peak hours. When I was younger, buses and trains were slower with fewer safety measures, yet people relied on them heavily. Currently, while public transport serves millions daily, issues like traffic jams, limited seating, and delays persist. In the future, I hope modernization, efficient scheduling, and better vehicle maintenance will improve the system significantly. The reason public transport is crucial is that it provides affordable mobility for the majority, especially those who cannot afford private vehicles.
Question 41. Has transport changed over the last few decades?
I have observed that transport in Bangladesh has changed significantly over the past few decades, with more vehicles, improved roads, and ride hailing services becoming common. When I was younger, people mainly relied on rickshaws, buses, and trains, which were slower and less reliable. Currently, private cars, motorcycles, and apps like Uber and Pathao are widely used, making commuting faster but increasing traffic congestion. In the future, I believe high speed trains, electric vehicles, and metro systems will further revolutionize travel. The reason transport has evolved is that population growth, urbanization, and technology demand faster, safer, and more efficient mobility.
Question 42. Do you think trains are better than buses?
I have often felt that trains are better than buses for long distance travel because they are faster, safer, and more comfortable, especially for families and elderly passengers. When I was younger, bus travel was more common due to affordability, but it was often tiring and crowded. Currently, I prefer trains for longer journeys because they offer more space and predictability, while buses remain useful for short or rural trips. In the future, I believe high-speed rail could become the preferred option for intercity travel. The reason trains are better is that they combine comfort, efficiency, and reliability, which buses sometimes cannot provide.
Question 43. What do you think of budget air travel?
I have noticed that budget air travel has become very popular in Bangladesh because it offers affordable options for domestic and international travel, saving time and effort. When I was younger, flying was expensive and considered a luxury for most people. Currently, budget airlines allow me and many others to travel quickly between cities or countries without spending a fortune. In the future, I expect budget travel to expand further, making air travel accessible to a wider population. The reason it is important is that it enhances connectivity, supports business, and allows families to meet more frequently.
Question 44. Do you think all transport will one day be run on green energy?
I have often thought that eventually most transport could run on green energy because environmental awareness and technological advances are pushing for cleaner alternatives. When I was younger, almost all vehicles relied on petrol and diesel, causing air pollution and health hazards. Currently, I see electric buses, hybrid cars, and solar-powered vehicles starting to emerge, but adoption is still limited. In the future, I believe governments and companies will expand green energy transport significantly to reduce emissions and fight climate change. The reason this transition is necessary is that fossil fuels are finite and harmful, whereas renewable energy ensures sustainable, cleaner mobility for future generations.
Question 45. What are popular toys for children in your country?
I have noticed that popular toys for children in Bangladesh include dolls, action figures, building blocks, and educational games because they are fun, affordable, and help develop creativity. When I was younger, traditional toys like wooden blocks, marbles, and simple puzzles were more common, and kids often played outdoors with friends. Currently, I see children enjoying electronic games, interactive learning devices, and branded dolls, reflecting a mix of traditional and modern preferences. In the future, I believe toys will continue evolving with technology, incorporating augmented reality or educational apps that make learning enjoyable. The reason these toys are popular is that they combine fun, challenge, and social engagement, which keeps them engaged and curious.
Question 46. Have the toys for children changed over the last few decades?
I have observed that toys have changed significantly over the last few decades because technological advancement has introduced electronic and interactive options. When I was younger, toys were mostly manual, simple, and inexpensive, like wooden blocks, puzzles, and marbles, which encouraged physical activity and imagination. Currently, children have access to electronic games, educational tablets, and sophisticated action figures, which are more engaging but sometimes reduce outdoor play. In the future, I expect toys to blend creativity, learning, and technology even more, allowing children to develop both cognitive and digital skills. The reason toys have changed is that parents and manufacturers aim to combine fun with education, meeting modern lifestyle needs.
Question 47. Do you think boys and girls like the same toys?
I have noticed that traditionally boys and girls prefer different types of toys because society often associates certain colors, themes, and activities with gender. When I was younger, boys usually played with cars and action figures while girls preferred dolls and cooking sets. Currently, I see more flexibility with some children enjoying both types of toys depending on personal interest rather than gender. In the future, I hope children will freely choose toys based on curiosity and skills rather than stereotypes. The reason preferences differ is partly cultural, but personal taste increasingly overrides norms.
Question 48. Do you think it's okay for boys to play with toys made for girls?
I have often thought that it is perfectly okay for boys to play with toys made for girls because playing with diverse toys encourages creativity, empathy, and skill development. When I was younger, such behavior was often frowned upon and children were guided strictly by gender norms. Currently, I see more acceptance with parents encouraging kids to explore different activities and toys regardless of gender. In the future, I hope society will fully embrace this flexibility, allowing children to develop holistic skills. The reason this is important is that limiting toys by gender can restrict imagination, problem solving, and emotional growth.
Question 49. What kinds of games do children like most?
I have noticed that children enjoy a mix of physical, mental, and digital games because these provide fun, social interaction, and skill development. When I was younger, outdoor games like football, hide and seek, and board games were most popular, helping children stay active and social. Currently, children also enjoy video games and interactive apps, which offer both entertainment and learning opportunities, but sometimes reduce physical activity. In the future, I believe games will increasingly integrate education, fitness, and virtual reality, offering balanced benefits. The reason children like diverse games is that they combine fun, challenge, and social engagement, which keeps them motivated.
Question 50. Do you think games and toys are educational for children?
I have found that games and toys can be highly educational because they teach problem solving, creativity, teamwork, and critical thinking. When I was younger, puzzles, building blocks, and strategy games help develop focus and analytical skills. Currently, children have access to educational apps and interactive toys that teach numbers, languages, and logic in an engaging way. In the future, I expect toys and games to become even more effective learning tools, blending traditional play with AI and gamification. The reason they are educational is that children often learn better through play, which is natural, engaging, and memorable.
Question 51. Do you think it's okay for children to spend a lot of time playing games on their devices?
I have noticed that spending time on digital games can be both beneficial and harmful depending on balance and content, because excessive screen time may reduce physical activity and social interaction. When I was younger, we spent most of our playtime outdoors or with physical toys, which kept us active and socially engaged. Currently, I see my children enjoy tablets and smartphones for learning and entertainment, but I try to limit usage to ensure they also play outdoors and interact with family and friends. In the future, I hope children will develop healthy digital habits, balancing screen time with physical and social activities. The reason moderation is key is that while technology offers learning and fun, overuse can negatively affect health, focus, and relationships.
Question 52. What types of sports are popular in your country?
I have noticed that cricket, football, and badminton are among the most popular sports in Bangladesh because they are widely accessible, enjoyable, and deeply rooted in the culture. When I was younger, children and adults mostly played cricket in open fields, local clubs, or school grounds, and it often brought neighbors and friends together. Currently, I see more organized leagues, school competitions, and even professional tournaments attracting enthusiastic crowds. In the future, I believe emerging sports like basketball and athletics will gain popularity as schools and media promote a wider variety of activities. The reason these sports are popular is that they combine excitement, teamwork, and opportunities for community engagement.
Question 53. What are the benefits of playing a sport?
I have often experienced that playing sports offers numerous benefits, including physical fitness, mental health improvement, teamwork skills, and discipline, because regular activity strengthens both body and mind. When I was younger, I used to play football and cricket with friends, which not only kept me active, but also taught patience, strategy, and cooperation. Currently, I encourage my children to play outdoor games to improve their focus, social skills, and overall well-being. In the future, I hope sports will continue to be integrated into daily life and education, helping everyone maintain a balanced lifestyle. The reason playing sports is beneficial is that it promotes health, confidence, and essential life skills simultaneously.
Question 54. Do you think the types of sport that are popular will change in the future?
I have noticed gradual changes in sports preferences because globalization, media exposure, and technology influence children's and adults' interests. When I was younger, cricket and football dominated completely, while other sports received little attention. Currently, I see more interest in basketball, volleyball, and even esports among young people due to school programs, television, and online platforms. In the future, I believe new sports will gain popularity, combining traditional physical activities with technology-based competitions to attract diverse participants. The reason trends change is that exposure, accessibility, and cultural influence shift people's interests over time.
Question 56. How can sports bring people from different countries closer together?
I have observed that sports can bring people from different countries closer together because international tournaments, friendly matches, and global competitions foster mutual respect and cultural exchange. When I was younger, watching the Cricket World Cup on television created excitement and discussions with friends who supported different countries. Currently, I see fans following global leagues online, celebrating victories, and learning about other cultures through sports. In the future, I believe sports will continue to unite people worldwide, promoting friendship, understanding, and peace beyond borders. The reason sports are powerful in connecting people is that they transcend language, politics, and nationality, creating shared experiences and common passions.
Question 56. Is shopping a popular activity in your country?
I have noticed that shopping is a very popular activity in Bangladesh because people enjoy buying clothes, groceries, electronics, and gifts both for necessity and leisure. When I was younger, most shopping was done in local markets or small shops, where bargaining was common, which created a social and interactive experience. Currently, shopping has expanded to modern malls, online platforms, and branded stores offering convenience and variety to consumers like me. In the future, I believe shopping will become more digital and personalized, with advanced apps, home delivery, and virtual try-on options. The reason shopping is so popular is that it combines practicality with entertainment, allowing people to meet needs while enjoying the experience.
Question 57. How have shopping habits changed over recent years?
I have observed that shopping habits have changed dramatically over the past few years because e-commerce, mobile apps, and cashless payments have made purchasing easier and faster. When I was younger, people relied mainly on physical stores, visited markets frequently, and often made planned trips to buy essentials or gifts. Currently, I often shop online for groceries, clothes, and electronics, enjoying home delivery and special discounts, which saves both time and energy. In the future, I think shopping will be even more convenient with AI recommendations, subscription services, and virtual reality experiences. The reason habits have changed is that technology and lifestyle pressures have shifted priorities towards convenience and speed.
Question 58.
To what extent do you think advertising affects the way people shop?
I have noticed that advertising has a huge impact on shopping habits because it influences preferences, creates trends, and sometimes encourages impulse buying. When I was younger, advertisements appeared mainly on television or newspapers, and people tended to follow popular brands and products showcased there. Currently, I see that social media, influencer promotions, and targeted online ads shape consumer choices daily, including my own decisions. In the future, I believe advertising will become more personalized and interactive, leveraging AI and behavioral data to affect purchasing patterns even more. The reason advertising matters is that it directs attention, shapes perceptions, and often determines which products people consider or buy.
Question 59. Do you think shopping habits are likely to change in the future?
I have often thought that shopping habits will continue to change because technology, lifestyle trends, and environmental awareness are constantly evolving consumer behavior. When I was younger, shopping trips were mainly in local markets or traditional stores, with limited options and fixed routines. Currently, online shopping, cashless payments, and brand loyalty programs have altered the way I and many others buy products. In the future, I expect sustainable shopping, AI-driven personalization, and virtual reality experiences to become common, encouraging smarter and greener choices. The reason habits will change is that innovation and societal values continually reshape what people value, how they spend, and how they shop.
Question 60. How do people in your country meet new people?
I have noticed that people in Bangladesh meet new people mainly through friends, family gatherings, workplaces, school, and online platforms because social networks and community connections are highly valued. When I was younger, most introductions happened through relatives, neighbors, or school activities, which help build trust and familiarity. Currently, I see social media, professional networks, and hobby groups have become popular ways to meet new people, allowing me and others to connect beyond immediate circles. In the future, I believe virtual reality and interactive apps will make meeting people even more accessible, bridging distances efficiently. The reason meeting new people is important is that it helps build relationships, expand networks, and create opportunities in both personal and professional life.
Question 61. Do you think it's safe to meet new people online?
I have often thought that meeting new people online can be safe if precautions are taken, but it also carries risks because anonymity and scams are common. When I was younger, online socializing was minimal and face-to-face interactions were the norm, which naturally ensures safety. Currently, while I use social media and professional platforms to connect, I always verify information and avoid sharing sensitive personal details. In the future, I expect better security measures and stricter regulations to make online interactions safer for everyone. The reason safety is a concern is that people may hide their true identity, and unmonitored interactions can lead to fraud, harassment, or misinformation.
Question 62. Do you think it's important for friends to spend time together?
I have found that spending time with friends is very important because it strengthens bonds, provides emotional support, and creates shared memories. When I was younger, friends would often play outdoors, study together, or visit each other frequently, which helped build trust and understanding. Currently, I notice that friends meet not only physically, but also through calls, messages, and social media, maintaining connections despite busy schedules. In the future, I hope that people will continue prioritizing quality time with friends, balancing digital and face-to-face interactions. The reason spending time together is important is that it improves mental health, happiness, and a sense of belonging among family members.
Question 63. What kinds of things do friends in your country like to do together?
I have observed that friends in Bangladesh enjoy activities such as going to cafes, playing sports, watching movies, attending cultural events, and celebrating festivals together because these activities foster bonding and relaxation. When I was younger, we often played outdoor games, rode bicycles, or gathered for study sessions, which were fun and productive. Currently, digital gaming, movie streaming, and group chats have become popular, allowing friends to connect even remotely. In the future, I think friends will increasingly mix traditional and digital activities, creating versatile ways to socialize. The reason these activities are common is that they provide enjoyment, strengthen relationships, and create shared experiences that last a lifetime.
Question 64. Do you think families spend enough time together these days?
I have noticed that families in Bangladesh often do not spend enough time together because modern work demands, education, and digital distractions reduce opportunities for shared activities. When I was younger, families regularly had meals together, celebrated festivals, and engaged in communal activities, which strengthened bonds. Currently, I see that many households are busy, with parents working long hours and children occupied with studies or devices. In the future, I hope families will consciously schedule quality time, combining meals, outings, and shared hobbies. The reason spending time together is crucial is that it nurtures emotional connections, communication skills, and a sense of belonging among family members.
Question 65. How has socializing changed over the last few decades?
I have observed that socializing has changed significantly over the past few decades because technology, urbanization, and lifestyle shifts have altered how people connect. When I was younger, social interactions were mostly face-to-face, in schools, neighborhoods, and family gatherings, which created stronger personal bonds. Currently, digital communication through social media, messaging apps, and online communities allows people to maintain connections instantly, but sometimes reduces deep personal interactions. In the future, I believe socializing will blend virtual and physical experiences, offering convenience while still encouraging meaningful relationships. The reason socializing has changed is that society's pace and technology influence how and when people interact.
Question 66. Do you think it's safe for children to socialize online?
I have often thought that online socializing for children can be safe if proper supervision and guidelines are followed, because technology is unavoidable, but can expose them to risks like cyberbullying or inappropriate content. When I was younger, online socializing was rare, and most interactions were face-to-face, which naturally ensured safety. Currently, I allow my children to use monitored platforms and teach them about privacy, which helps protect them while letting them enjoy social connections. In the future, I hope stricter parental controls, educational programs, and safer platforms will make online socializing safer for children. The reason caution is necessary is that children are vulnerable and require guidance to navigate online interactions responsibly.
Question 67. Should schools teach both arts and science?
I've noticed that teaching both arts and science is very important because it develops creativity, critical thinking, and well-rounded knowledge. When I was younger, schools often focused mainly on science subjects, which limited opportunities for students to explore arts and culture. Currently, I see many schools introducing arts programs alongside science, which help students discover hidden talents and improve problem-solving skills. In the future, I believe a balanced curriculum combining arts and science will become standard, fostering innovation and versatile graduates. The reason for teaching both is that students benefit from holistic development, preparing them for diverse careers and life challenges.
Question 68. What kinds of courses are useful for university students?
I have found that courses in communication, technology, critical thinking, and practical skills are particularly useful for university students because they enhance employability and real-world readiness. When I was a student, the focus was mainly on theoretical subjects, which often left gaps in practical knowledge. Currently, many universities offer internships, workshops, and soft skill courses alongside academics, which help me and peers connect theory with practice. In the future, I believe interdisciplinary courses that blend science, arts, and digital skills will be even more essential. The reason these courses are useful is that they equip students with versatile skills for both professional success and personal growth.
Question 69. Why do some students dislike studying at school?
I've noticed that some students dislike studying at school because of excessive pressure, rigid teaching methods, or subjects that do not interest them. When I was younger, I sometimes found memorizing facts boring, and traditional teaching styles did not always engage students. Currently, interactive teaching, project-based learning, and extracurricular activities have made education more enjoyable, helping students like me stay motivated. In the future, I think personalized learning and technology integration will address this issue further, making learning more engaging and flexible. The reason some students dislike school is that motivation decreases when education feels disconnected from real life or personal interests.
Question 70. What school activities are good for school children?
I have found that sports, debates, music, arts, and science clubs are excellent activities for school children because they develop teamwork, creativity, leadership, and communication skills. When I was younger, participating in football matches and school dramas helped me build confidence and social skills alongside academic learning. Currently, schools also organize workshops, competitions, and community projects, allowing students to explore diverse interests. In the future, I believe more emphasis will be given to experiential and project-based learning activities. The reason these activities are important is that they prepare students for real-life challenges while nurturing personal growth and social awareness.
Question 71. Are there good colleges in your country?
I have observed that there are some very good colleges in Bangladesh, particularly in Dhaka and Chittagong, which provide quality education, extracurricular opportunities, and modern facilities. When I was younger, access to quality higher education was limited, and many students had to travel far for better options. Currently, I see improvements in curriculum, infrastructure, and international collaborations which enhance learning outcomes. In the future, I hope more colleges across the country will reach high standards, ensuring access to excellent education for all students. The reason good colleges are crucial is that they produce skilled graduates who can compete globally and contribute to society.
Question 72. Are college tuition fees reasonable in your country?
I have often noticed that college tuition fees in Bangladesh can be quite high relative to average income, making it challenging for some families to afford higher education. When I was younger, scholarships and financial support were limited, which created barriers for talented students. Currently, some universities offer flexible payment plans and scholarships, making education more accessible, but costs remain a concern. In the future, I hope policies and funding support will make tuition fees fairer for all students. The reason fees matter is that affordability directly affects access to education and equal opportunities for personal and professional growth.
Question 73. Do many people in your country study abroad?
I have observed that a growing number of students from Bangladesh study abroad because foreign universities offer quality education, exposure, and career opportunities. When I was younger, studying abroad was rare due to financial constraints and limited awareness. Currently, many students pursue higher education in countries like the USA, UK, and Australia, often seeking better programs and international experience. In the future, I believe more students will go abroad, supported by scholarships, global programs, and easier visa procedures. The reason studying abroad is popular is that it provides knowledge, experience, and networks that are difficult to acquire domestically.
Question 74. Are women encouraged to pursue education?
I have noticed that women in Bangladesh are increasingly encouraged to pursue education because of government policies, social awareness, and family support promoting gender equality. When I was younger, educational opportunities for girls were limited in some regions, but attitudes have improved significantly over time. Currently, I see many women excelling in schools, colleges, and professional fields, which inspires others to follow their example. In the future, I hope education for women will become universally accessible and fully supported in every community. The reason this is important is that educated women contribute to social development, economic growth, and empowerment of families and communities.
Question 75. Do you think teachers are paid enough?
I have often thought that teachers in Bangladesh are generally underpaid considering their responsibilities, because education quality heavily depends on motivated and skilled teachers. When I was younger, many teachers worked long hours with limited financial recognition, which sometimes affected their performance and morale. Currently, some initiatives aim to improve teacher salaries and incentives, but challenges remain, especially in public schools. In the future, I hope teachers will receive fair pay and professional development opportunities, reflecting their importance in shaping future generations. The reason fair payment is necessary is that it ensures commitment, quality education, and respect for a profession that impacts society profoundly.
Question 76. What social problems are there in your country?
I have noticed that Bangladesh faces several social problems such as poverty, overpopulation, traffic congestion, lack of proper health care, and gender inequality because rapid urbanization and limited resources put pressure on infrastructure and society. When I was younger, issues like child labor and inadequate schooling were more visible in rural areas. Currently, although there have been improvements in education and healthcare, challenges like unemployment and corruption persist, affecting daily life. In the future, I hope continued reforms, awareness programs, and social policies will address these issues effectively. The reason understanding social problems is important is that they influence quality of life, economic stability, and opportunities for growth.
Question 77. What can be done to alleviate poverty?
I have observed that alleviating poverty requires a combination of government support, education, skill development, and job creation, because these measures provide long-term solutions rather than temporary relief. When I was younger, many families depended on informal jobs and lacked access to quality education, which perpetuated the cycle of poverty. Currently, programs like microfinance, vocational training, and social welfare have helped some families improve their living standards. In the future, I believe more inclusive policies, technology-driven opportunities, and community engagement can reduce poverty sustainably. The reason addressing poverty is crucial is that it impacts health, education, social stability, and economic growth.
Question 78. Are there many charities in your country?
I have noticed that Bangladesh has a number of charities and non-governmental organizations working to help the underprivileged, provide education, healthcare, and disaster relief. When I was younger, charitable work was mostly local and informal, relying on donations from nearby communities. Currently, I see organized charities and NGOs, both national and international, that operate systematically, which allows people like me to contribute and support causes efficiently. In the future, I hope more people and institutions will engage in charitable activities to create stronger social safety nets. The reason charities are important is that they fill gaps left by the government and promote social welfare, equality, and compassion.
Question 79. What is the difference between major crime and minor crime?
I have found that major crimes such as murder, robbery, or serious fraud are far more severe and punishable than minor crimes, which include petty theft or minor vandalism, because the social impact and legal consequences differ greatly. When I was younger, minor crimes often went unnoticed or were resolved informally, while major crimes required legal intervention and long-term investigation. Currently, law enforcement treats both seriously but differentiates severity based on impact, harm, and recurrence. In the future, I believe stricter laws and preventative measures will reduce both types of crimes. The reason understanding the difference is important is that it affects legal response, societal perception, and rehabilitation strategies.
Question 80. Do you think all criminals should go to prison?
I have often thought that not all criminals should go to prison because some cases, such as minor offenses or first-time nonviolent crimes, can be better addressed through fines, community service, or rehabilitation programs. When I was younger, imprisonment was often seen as the default punishment, which sometimes disrupted families and failed to correct behavior. Currently, alternative sentencing and restorative justice approaches are gaining attention, emphasizing correction over punishment. In the future, I hope criminal justice reforms will balance safety, fairness, and rehabilitation. The reason this is important is that imprisonment should protect society without unnecessarily harming innocent dependents or wasting resources.
Question 81. Why do so many people move to live in cities?
I have noticed that many people move to cities in Bangladesh in search of better jobs, education, healthcare, and lifestyle opportunities because urban areas offer resources and infrastructure that rural areas often lack. When I was younger, families used to migrate for work or education, often leaving villages behind, which created cultural and social shifts. Currently, I see massive urbanization, with cities becoming centers of business, education, and healthcare, attracting people from across the country. In the future, I believe urban planning, transport systems, and affordable housing will be key to accommodating this migration. The reason people move is to improve living standards, economic prospects, and social mobility.
Question 82. What problems does overpopulation cause?
I have observed that overpopulation causes serious issues such as traffic congestion, pollution, scarcity of resources, overcrowded schools and hospitals, and environmental degradation because the demand exceeds supply. When I was younger, some areas already faced overcrowding and pressure on basic services, which made daily life challenging. Currently, cities struggle with traffic jams, housing shortages, and strain on public services, affecting quality of life. In the future, I hope population control policies, urban planning, and technological solutions will reduce these pressures. The reason overpopulation is problematic is that it affects health, education, infrastructure, and overall social stability.